So far, we've bombarded you with a ton of information, but how do you apply all that in a high-pressure situation? In this episode, we're putting everything together by analyzing how the best players do it so you can do it too. Welcome to Valo Academy. In this episode, we're going to analyze 4 of the main aspects of a professional Valorant game: Agent Select, Attack Strategy, Defense Strategy, and Counter Strategy. Applying what you've learned in game speed is the hardest thing to master in Valorant, as each round is played differently and you tend to play with players of different skill levels. We have our friends coaches Tur and Rhomz from Oasis Gaming to review some of the recent matches and break those plays down. So the game that we're looking at is Oasis versus Naos in a VCT match. And if you know anything about these two teams, it's that they trade a lot of wins against each other. The teams have loaded up on Haven, a 3-site map with heavy emphasis on mid control. To start off, players have to select which agents play well in this particular map. According to the coaches,
since we're playing in Haven, we'll have less manpower in defending each site because the team will be spread out across 3 different sites.
This means that rotating from site to site will take more time. With that in consideration, you'll notice that both teams have selected different sets of agents to play. Let's examine the agents that Oasis have picked and why they're good choices for this situation. Duelist, Jett.
Her mobility is a big advantage because it allows her to move quicker across a big map and also allows her to rush into a site while defenders take longer to rotate.
Sentinel, Killjoy.
With manpower spread out across the map, Killjoy's utility come in handy with her turret and alarm bot serving as extra pairs of eyes in unmanned areas. Because it also takes time for defenders to rotate to a site, Killjoy's ultimate ability, the lockdown, also comes in especially handy when retaking a site.
Initiator, Breach.
Breach is one of the agents that do best in clearing corners when taking or retaking a site. He also has up to 3 ability charges for flashpoints, which gives the team enough to use in multiple locations.
Initiator, Sova.
While Breach does great in clearing sites, Sova takes care of info. His recon dart and owl drone will allow the team to know where the enemies are and are not.
Controller, Omen.
Because Haven is a huge map, Omen's wide range in dropping smokes comes in very handy, and his ultimate ability, from the shadows, teleports him from one place to another in a jiffy.
Oasis starts as attackers in this game, winning the pistol round and the bonus after. Moving to round 3, let's look at how they've set up their executes. Setting the stage in Game 1, Round 3. Oasis has won the first 2 rounds, the pistol and the bonus round. At this point, Naos has just enough creds for a full buy. But so does OAS. However, they decide to stick to their weapons from their previous bonus round to secure a full buy on the next round regardless of whether they win or lose. There are only 3 defenders on a site, which gives Oasis an advantage. Sova launches his owl drone through sewer while Jett dashes in from A long. Omen throws Paranoia, blinding all 3 defenders and allowing both Jett and Breach to score 2 opening frags. Jett and Breach are eliminated on the side take, but Omen and Killjoy arrive on the scene just in time. Killjoy also gets eliminated but is traded by Omen. Now we're left with Omen, Sova, and a successfully taken site in a 2v2 situation. The spike is planted as the 2 remaining defenders arrive outside at A link, having rotated from the C site. Sova finds the Killjoy while Naos Omen eliminates his Oasis counterpart. Now it's OAS Sova versus Naos Omen left alive, both knowing each other's location. In this situation, Sova has the advantage because Omen is under time pressure to defuse the spike. Finally, Sova successfully eliminates Omen, winning the round. Notice that he's only using his Spectre from the previous round. Now that they've won the round, he can pick up a free Vandal from the enemy and the whole team has greatly increased their economic advantage. Wow, that was a lot. But you'll notice how skill usage, agent prioritization, and map movement all played key roles in winning the round. Our coaches had this to say when we talked about this round.
Win or lose, our intention is to break their economy and prevent them from building a lead.
That decision led them to retain their guns from the previous round, ultimately securing a win and crippling the enemy's economy. Now, a game in Valorant doesn't end with just the attack. you also need to defend well. Let's look at how Oasis did on their defensive half. It's round 17 and Oasis is on the defense. In this round, Sova launches a recon bolt through A long, spotting Jet in A lobby. Notice how Omen was able to send a smoke towards A lobby even though he's all the way over at C site. If you take a closer look at the minimap, you'll see that Omen and Breach are lurking their way through C long, letting the team know that there are no enemies in C. With this information, Oasis know that Naos must be in either A or B. Sova then sends his Owl drone through A long to check for enemies and spots Naos Jet. Up on sewer, OAS Jet holds the angle from the top of the box. This is made possible by Jet's updraft ability. Now Sova sends a recon bolt into B site, which informs Omen and Breach that there are enemies right outside B site. Omen enters window and spots the enemy Killjoy's turret watching for lurks. Omen is spotted in window by Naos, so he uses paranoia to blind them while Breach backs him up from grass. They're able to eliminate the 3 attackers from B site, making Naos drop the spike. They knew that Naos Jet was in A, so they make sure that they have an agent holding that angle. True enough, they catch the attacking Jet trying to lurk through A link. They also heard Naos Killjoy's footsteps from sewer, so they're able to anticipate where she might be coming from. But remember, the spike has been dropped. Naos Killjoy has no choice but to pick it up and plant it in a 5v1 situation. The odds are in Oasis' favor. Naos Killjoy is able to eliminate 2 Oasis defenders, but decides to save her weapon for the next round. Hearing from the coaches, they said that
Oasis won the round by denying any plant and making sure Naos doesn't retrieve the spike in time.
simply impenetrable defense. Teams can trade rounds back and forth, but it ain't over till it's over. Keep in mind that in every game you're playing against real players like you, which means that everyone has the ability to think, predict, and react to your strategies and playstyle. Now let's look at a counter strategy measure that happened immediately after round 17. We go to round 18, where Naos learned from Oasis strategies from the previous round. Let's take a look at what happened. Killjoy reports that multiple enemies are rushing towards C's site. The majority of the team are too far away to back her up, so she stays in garage window while they rotate. Notice how all 4 defenders take the flank route to rotate towards C? In the last round, that did wonders with Omen and Breach having been able to take out the 3 attackers in B site. But this time, the attackers have learned their lesson. Now as Killjoy stays back to intercept flanks. Hearing multiple footsteps running towards C, Naos Killjoy reports this to her team. Meanwhile, Naos Breach launches his ult from C lobby, stunning the rest of Oasis. He's able to take out Omen, but Breach survives. Now, Breach is the only one alive, odds stacked against him, with all 5 Naos members still alive. He decides to save his weapon and live to fight another round. In every Valorant game, the possibilities are endless. The agents, weapons, and maps are just the tip of the iceberg. It all comes down to the strategies, mind games, and counters that you execute to win rounds. So be smart, be creative, and most importantly, have fun.
Match found.
Tara, Valo,